routes. We are descending via the Bunts to arrival into the Philadelphia area. We currently left air traffic control and we have no ATC. This is American flight 1896. It's a 777-200 Lima Romeo, and we're just gonna get it on down to 7,200 here, which is where we plan to be at for Bunts, and then transitioning to Mike X-Ray Echo. We may adjust that. As you see here, we have 137 VREF speed at flaps 30, which means our approach speeds roughly are going to be about 142 knots. We've got a 7-knot headwind, so 142 plus the headwind, you know, we could do about 146 would be okay. So we have to factor the headwind in. The weather in Philadelphia appears to be pretty good. There's a 10-mile or greater distance to the runway. Altimeter is 3019, which we should get ready while we can. A little more. There we go. We're about to pass transition altitude now, therefore we will activate. As you can see here, I just put 30.19 in anticipation of passing the transition altitude here in the United States of 18,000 feet, or flight level 180. So we're getting ready to pass that, so we'll go ahead and get that plugged in, and we're there. Alright, there we are. So we still have the
18,000 feet
transition that we need, and as you can see here, that B-line should be 4,000 feet. Today we're going to be parking in either gates B or C, just depending on where we find ourselves. For whatever reason, GSX hasn't been working well with my add-on of this 777, so we'll have to do our best to find a heavy parking. I probably won't keep recording at that point, so anyway, so that's what we're doing. Let me go ahead and expand or decrease that. Let's go through a real brief checklist. Haven't done it. I should have done it earlier. Shame on me. But we'll do it now. We'll go into the non-normal, and let's go for descent. Alright, so my recall was checked, notes checked, landing data set, auto brakes done, checklist complete. So then our next checklist, of course, is going to be our approach checklist, and it just looks like that's altimeter, so we'll do that. Let's go back here, and we'll just get a peek. Landing is going to be speed brake arm, landing gear, and flaps. Perfect. So in the meantime, let's bring our nav data back up on the PFD, because I like to have that handy. Looks like we got a little bit of clouds here. Here shortly I will be decreasing my speed to 250 knots, and let's just yeah, we'll leave that there. We'll cross Bunts at 7,200, and then we will presumably get to the mic X-ray echo at the appropriate level. Now what we're going to do is we are going to make a little announcement just in case anybody right, and we'll let them know that we are roughly 7 nautical miles from LRP. There we go. One thing I like to do is just get this ready, because I can't speak on the advisory. I have to type, and I don't like doing all that when I'm approaching. And we will set that up so that when we're on approach, we have nothing to worry about. Alright folks, going down to 12,000. I'm going to go ahead and get the aircraft slowed down a little bit here. Let me go ahead and arm the speed brake. As you can see there, it's armed. Once we get about 10,000, we'll go ahead and slow it down. We'll make sure that it's slowed down, and then we'll get our landing lights on. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and give it some more drag at this point. Looks like I can nose up just a little bit. 1,200 feet per minute. Let's switch to the first officer side. Let's see what we got here. We got mic X-ray echo at 5473, but we'll just go ahead and get it down to 4,000. And our last point should be at 1,800. All right. We'll nose up just a tad bit. There we go. Let's rearm our speed brake there. Should be doing okay. Do about 245 on the speed. Hopefully bring it down just a hair so we're not breaking that speed limit. Let's give it a little more drag. It's one thing this aircraft does require. It's a little more drag. And we're close enough to 10,000. Let's go ahead and get our landing lights on.
10,000 feet.
Alright. I don't know that we need the dome on, but we'll definitely see if we can get some more lighting up here. Let's get our runway lights on and our taxi lights. Just get everything situated. And we can probably nose up just a little bit. Alright. See if getting rid of the drag is okay. Picking up just a little bit of speed. Not much, so we're okay. We're actually below 10,000. And we'll nose up just a little bit more. As you can see, we need to be about 7,200 at bunt, so we don't need to rush it at all. Once we start making the turn, we'll slow down a little bit. Let's check this here. We can actually put in our first phase of flaps if we'd like, which I think I'll do. Kind of cutting it right on the edge there. Let's back her off on the speed just a tad. There we go. Alright, so our next altitude is going to be about 4,000. So what I'm going to do is keep looking at that. Let's nose down a little bit because we're going to be going into the turn here. Then we'll see where our descent profile falls. We should be okay to be at 4,000 there. We should be okay. Alright. So we've got landing lights are on. Taxi stroll. Alright. Once we make the turn during this stretch here, I'll do my best to get us down to about 170 knots or so, which for now we're busting into the turn. And I'm not even going to announce that we're doing a right base, even though that's what we're doing. Alright. Looks like cabin is ready. So that looks good. Let's see if we can. Here's Philadelphia. Too small. The funny thing about this plugin for GSX, it says everything is too small, which is kind of frustrating, even when it's a heavy gate. At this point, that's what I'm looking for. Probably have to find a heavy gate at the A terminal. American parks at the A terminal as well. So A25 is a heavy gate. Now the question is, where is Alpha 25? And as you can see, it's American as well. Alright, so we have made our turn. Let's go ahead and just get our speed down. We can also do that by decreasing our profile, our vertical profile there. So we actually want to be here at 4,000. Now we'll go to the first officer side. We'll come up for a look-see here. And we'll go ahead and arm our localizer. So our localizer is armed. Let's double check. We don't have anything going wrong here to our next points, which we don't. So localizer is armed, and then we'll just stay here so when we get on approach we can get the glide path captured. nose up to 500 a little bit, so we can really get down to the speed we want to get. Now if we notice here, we can throw some more flaps in, which we won't go too far into our flaps just simply because I'm not going to put the gear down until we make the turn, so we'll be at flaps 5 now. Again, roughly about 146 is perhaps where I'll put it, since we do have that 7-knot headwind. Let me check the weather again because it may have updated. So there's an 8-mile-per-hour headwind now. Wind is at 120 degrees, pretty much coming out of the south. We're heading east still yet. Other than runway 17, this runway is good. Runway 17 is a very short runway. So we're taking the longest runway, which is 10,506 feet by 200 feet. More than adequate for the 777. So there you have our descent profile. And as you can see here, flap 1, flap 5. Bring it down to about 160. I like bringing this bird in kind of slow. I've had a couple of, as you hear my children in the background screaming, I've had a couple of approaches that were not so nice in this bird, and things didn't turn out so well. Never crashed it. Landings were always adequate. However, they could have been better. Alright, so we've locked onto the localizer. Now we've got our glide slope active. Probably be captured here any minute. Then after that, we can just kind of manage the speed. Alright, so we're turning. The glide slope is now captured for a nice, easy approach into our runway. So once we get here, we will announce our 10-mile final, which we're almost there. And we'll go ahead and do that now. See, it's already ready to go. We're on a 10-mile final for runway 9. This little green dot there, that's where we should decelerate. And let's just go ahead and throw some flaps in. Bring it down just a little more. We've got a good visual on our runway. Alright, so we look pretty good. We're lined up. We're going to the Alpha gates, so hopefully we can get a runway turnoff at looks like Sierra 3.
2500.
We'll end up having to make a left at November, whatever it is we do, so we can cross the other runway there. Alright, as you see, here's our runway there. I always wondered what it would do turning it to this approach page. Alright, let's go ahead and go for gear down. Let's check our gear is down. Alright, gear is down. We'll bring the speed, like I said, to about 146. We got that 8-mile headwind. Gear is down. And we're full flaps at this point, folks. Matter of fact, I'll probably even bring it to maybe... Yeah, I'll stay 146 because of that wind. Alright, folks. We are on final descent. Now, if I wanted to, I could have this bird land itself. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to land it. Alright. Nice, easy descent. I am now hand flying this Boeing 777 on approach to runway 9 right in Philadelphia here. And drop the nose just a tad bit. Very gentle on the controls, folks. You don't want to dip the nose down and then have to do a bunch of corrections here.
Five hundred.
All right.
$400. 300.
Kind of dipping it down here.
200.
100.
100.
50. 40.
50.
30.
40.
20.
30.
10.
20.
All right, folks, we have a touchdown. All right. All right, folks. Pretty good little touchdown there. Little stutter there for the GSX.
We know you have a choice in air travel, and appreciate very much that you chose to fly with American Airlines, a member of the One World Alliance. Have a pleasant evening.
And we're on Sierra 4. We have Sierra coming up. Check my little map there. Alright, let's stop here and let's get our flaps up. Get rid of our speed brake there. Speed brake is there. We're going to turn the auto brake off. I'm going to go up top. Okay. Let's get the landing lights on. This is where a co-pilot would really come in handy. I would like to thank everybody for watching this approach in this 777. I got the APU started up. We got flaps up. Alright, now we are on Sierra at Sierra 4. So we're going to take Sierra all the way down to November and hook boogie a left and then another left once we get to Juliet. Okay, so we're sort of having to pass our gate by heading, you know, east of it. And we'll turn around and go back west heading towards the terminal. And then take a right, a north turn. Alright, so this is uniform. We're looking for November. Should be the next taxiway. It's a pretty good flight. Had air traffic control. Pretty much none at the beginning until I got to Indiana Center, then into Cleveland. Then I should have had some. New York was offline. So, yeah, great flight. Appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'll stop the video now. We'll see you next time.